The man in my life is small to medium-sized, mostly green but with a touch of yellow, and he has a very sharp beak. His name is Finn, and he is a brown-headed poicephalous parrot native to eastern Africa. Finn was bred and born in Colorado and has lived with me for 3 years. He inspires me daily to care about and support the conservation of parrots and their native habitats throughout the world. Parrots face the threat of extinction daily, and it's up to us to protect them. There are approximately 330 parrot species worldwide. The Wild Bird Trust estimates that more than 1/3 of these species are endangered, and many of them are critically endangered. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature, or the IUCN, a leading agency for conservation, the greatest threat to parrots is habitat loss, alteration of their habitat, and fragmentation. Each is largely a result of human behavior. Our behavior threatens avian, amphibian, and mammals alike. What many don't realize is that we all suffer when our world is diminished by species and habitat loss. The IUCN believes that no other group of parrots, no other group of birds has been subjected to exploitation as much as parrots have. But they also believe that parrots can serve as a really wonderful flagship species and highlight the need to protect habitats from destruction. Those of us who share our lives with parrots, and anyone who values their beauty, intelligence, and the way they enhance our lives, has a duty to do his or her very best to protect and preserve these species. Whether or not you've ever considered the lives of parrots in the wild or in captivity, you too have a duty to protect them. I wonder if you're familiar with the plight of the Cape parrot, native to South Africa. It lives nowhere else in the world outside of captivity. The Cape Parrot Project is part of the World Parrot Trust, is working to protect the Cape parrot under the leadership of biologist and conservationist Dr. Steve Boys, who is also native South African. According to the Cape Parrot Project, the Cape parrot is South Africa's only endemic parrot, and there's a high probability that they will disappear before most South Africans even know they exist. Over the last 50 to 100 years, they have been subject to habitat loss, incredible disease, direct persecution as crop pests. They're believed by many to be crop pests, and also illegal capture for the pet trade. And all of these factors have decimated the local populations. The Cape parrot has suffered the loss of its habitat, and in particular the loss of the yellowwood trees, which are also a native species in South Africa. The Cape parrot relies on the yellowwood trees, the fruit that they bear, for its nutrition, for most of its nutrients. They've had to find other sources of food. Some have been somewhat okay, but many have also led to additional problems, and the parrots themselves have been very malnourished by not having enough of the yellowwood fruit. And to survive it all, they've had to adapt to these new feeding opportunities, develop new feeding habits, as the staple of their diet, the yellowwood fruit, has also diminished. The Cape parrot, like all parrots, is a beautiful animal. Like most parrots, their appeal is their unique beauty and intelligence. Parrots appeal to our emotions. Researchers like Daniel Frenta and others have found, in fact, that some parrots hold particular appeal for humans. These species are often found in zoos and sanctuaries. Sadly, the Cape parrot and other poicephalous parrots are not well known. You can take a trip to your local zoo. You may find species of macaw or Amazon, both also endangered. They are natives of South and Central America. You might see toucans, you might see cockatoos. They also are endangered species. But it is unlikely that you will find a Cape parrot, a brown-headed poicephalus, or any other African species. Geography does have a part to play in how well known parrots are and how familiar we are with them and their needs. So if the plight of the Cape parrot and other vital avian species is unknown, who will work to save them? It really has to be us. We have to educate ourselves and work to protect them. The illegal human trade of parrots is also responsible for their decline. Many parrots now in captivity in regions that don't enforce regulation of trade and don't follow CITES, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, suffer. Many are captured illegally and sold in markets. This is particularly common throughout Asia, in every part of Asia. Many more parrots are bred in aviaries for the pet trade. The latter is the case, as I said, for Finn. He is one of the lucky ones, though, having been bred by a certified and very loving parrot breeder. I know how rare it is to find a bird like Finn. He had the advantage of a loving, safe environment, and he grew up strong and healthy. I work daily to continue to provide that for him. Some may criticize my choice to take a parrot into my home. Many believe that they should be wild, and certainly I value their presence in the wild. But I can also assure you that parrots bred in captivity do not know how to survive in the wild. We can't simply let them go. They are much too used to human companionship. They rely on human care for food, shelter, everything. All parrots, it is true, regardless of species, are descended from wild-caught birds, most imported, even in the U.S., imported prior to the adoption of CITES, and those that remain in the wild face the grave threats that I've already mentioned, the resulting habitat loss as humans encroach and industry moves in. The most important thing we can do as humans who value the conservation of parrots and other vital species is work to protect and save the native habitats that they rely on from human development and destruction. In the long run, it will benefit us all. Finn is my boy. I love him with all my heart. He is largely undomesticated, and I've chosen to spend my life with a wild animal. He behaves much as a brown-head poicephalus behaves in the wild, though I doubt they talk as much as he does, and certainly if I met them, they wouldn't tell me that they love me like he does. So he inspires me, as I hope to inspire you to save these really incredible species from disappearing. It's so important, and to do that we have to protect the environments and the homes that they need to survive.